This is DK from TacoYaki Gaming. We are here with Psycho Gamer, Kiki Rocks, and the Spastic One. We are going to be doing something brand new for 2020. This is the first ever TacoYaki Gaming podcast. Today we'll be talking about our gaming experiences across 2019, kind of reminisce, kind of talk about what our channels do, and just talk about games that we all love. Well, let's get it started. Let me grab the list.
But I say I'm not going to be the guinea pig in the class. You can go ahead and take this one. I usually was like that when I was younger. I'm done with that.
I can take a look at mine. So.
Okay, so we'll go category by category, and then we'll go down the list, and it's kind of like a mix of like year in review and a mix of kind of a game awards kind of thing, but it's kind of like our own individual things. Maybe we'll do a game awards next year, but yeah. So first category is action games, and I will go ahead and go first. And for the action game category, the game that I chose is Speedrunners. I chose this game because out of all the games that we played, especially through Variety Power Hour and games that I've seen played, this is probably one of the games that I got the most heated on. And it's a racing game, it's a platformer game, it's a fighting game, and I had
Oliver Strange.
Yeah, I had a really good time trying to beat Kiki, and I got like maybe one or two wins.
I was about to say so what you're saying is you really kind of a masochist and you enjoy getting your butt kicked all the time by Kiki. That's what you're trying to say. I mean, just let it out. I mean, don't be beating on the bush now.
But yeah, it's a very big challenge trying to beat Kiki. But I don't know. It's a very fun game. So, Psycho, what game did you choose for action game for 2019?
Looking that up. So for me, action game I chose was GTFO. Just came out. What I want to say.
I think it was this month.
Was
last month.
Was it this last month?
Yeah.
I know it was towards the end of the year, so I'm not 100% sure exactly when, but this is a very interesting game. It reminds me of it's a roguelike dungeon crawler mixed with horror, mixed with first person action shoot 'em up. It's got a lot going for it, basically.
Okay.
And it basically takes place where you and three others. It's a 4-player, right? Yeah, it's 4-player.
Yeah.
You and three others get sent into this pit where you're supposed to find a specific item to bring back with you, and you're prisoners. Like the story, the world itself seems very interesting and weird, but they haven't really delved into it much. But as you get put into this situation, there are enemies abound that are they're like these glowing, massive, just disgusting looking creatures that you have to deal with.
That are bullet sponges.
Yeah, that are essentially bullet sponges for the most part. You can like do stealth kills on them, make it easier, but then you have to worry about while you're trying to beat the crap out of one, there's another one nearby that happens to notice you, then he screams, and then all hell breaks loose because all of a sudden, they're like, oh, he's over there, go kill him, so.
Or someone reaches out and touches you with a tentacle.
Yeah. That's one of the creepier aspects of that. I honestly have to say, every time I see those tentacles come out, I'm like, I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Because that's going on right there. Because you have one that's like, it's almost like a tree root of tentacles that comes out of its back because it spreads them all over the place. And I'm like, I don't know. You didn't have to tell me that those were dangerous for me not to think that those were dangerous and I shouldn't touch those. But yeah, no, it's fun. It has a lot of like, I love those games that are like the roguelike games because they're always new whenever you get in there. You don't know what to expect. Even if you've played the levels over and over again, you know, they mix around where the items are, they mix around where the enemies are. I mean, you can kind of get a lay of the land more or less, but that's about it. And to me, that's a lot of fun because I'm just like, I don't know what to expect, but whatever it is, it's gonna be crazy. Whatever it's gonna happen, and involve tentacles. So, yeah, no, I mean, so I think this has been a really cool game. I'm curious to see what they do more with it. They're supposed to be, I guess, constantly updating it to where every month or a couple of months they rotate out the maps, so there are always going to be fresh new maps involved.
Okay.
So honestly, the only thing for right now is this game is in alpha, so they don't have. At last time I played it, they don't have matchmaker done for this. So basically, what they've had people do is they get onto their Discord, and you can just basically say, "Hey, I'm on this level. I'm jumping into this channel," which they literally have like thousands of voice channels on their friggin' Discord channel.
Yeah.
And they're like, just jump into one, tell people where you're at, and see who joins, and then just go from there. Because you definitely cannot stress this enough. Definitely do not want to try to
Don't play alone.
That crap. Because oh my god, I don't care how good you are
or think you are.
I think you are. At some point, they're gonna notice you, and it's gonna be hell.
Especially if you try to go through a door.
Oh yeah, God. Because some doors you can just easily go through, and some doors they require like locking mechanism where you have to, like, these pools of light come out and you have to stand in them for like 5 to 10 seconds a piece. Okay. But they think that you have a full team with you at all times, so there's 4 all the time, and then sometimes they do like double that, so you'll have to 8 one of them. Meanwhile, the alarm's going off, and since the alarm's going off, all the monsters know exactly where you are.
Oh no.
So it's like, oh, Dad, no. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I think I would definitely recommend this game for people if you like the heightened action, adrenaline pumping, creepy horror, hentai tentacle vibe. So, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. So,
cool. Spaz, what do you have for action?
It is the exact same as Psycho.
Okay.
GTFO. And he pretty much covered most of it.
Okay.
Everything I think I say is you definitely need to know what you're doing, and everybody kind of needs to be specialized with certain equipment when you go in to it.
Okay.
I think the best setup we had was 2 turrets, 1 seafoam launcher, and a heartbeat sensor.
Okay.
Yeah, one goo launcher, so you can. It literally, it's just you're spreading white goo all over the place. It's very weird.
And after it sits for a little bit, it hardens and slows things down.
So it's like Elmer's glue.
Yeah. Elmer's
sure,
glue.
We'll go with that.
Absolutely, Elmer's glue. Yeah.
But definitely, as he said, it's roguelike, but it's. I wouldn't say it's roguelike. I'd say it's roguelite.
Okay.
Because items are definitely in random locations, but the maps are the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maps are the same. But I mean, again, I just figured because of the fact that they're also going to be rotating the maps out, you're just, if you leave it alone for more than like a month or so, you're going to come back and be like, wait, this wasn't the map I was on. What the hell?
Yeah.
So.
But hopefully they implement matchmaking, and I think voice in game.
Yeah,
It's
so you don't
definitely
have to
one
worry
thing.
about always being on Discord and trying to communicate with people. Because communication is freaking key in this damn thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense for them to like build it in instead of relying on Discord. Because if something happens to Discord, then what?
Yeah, then you're kind of screwed.
But there
I
is
mean,
something that they did implement that I thought was really nice because we did have one person without a mic,
Mhm.
and even without typing in stuff, his character would have callouts like would say, "There's something here," or "Found a bad one,"
Okay.
mhm.
or like, "Shh, they're just around the corner."
Yeah, not to be creepy at all, you know.
But no, he would actually. His character would call out when he saw enemies.
Okay. That's cool. Making use of what you have in the game to get back.
Yeah, I mean, it is an alpha, so it's one of those where you realize they're still plugging away at it. So
I would say for an alpha, it's
fairly decent.
it's one of the most stable alphas I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
More stable than 7 days, that's for sure.
Good. Kiki, what is your action game for 2019?
So the action game that I found is RL Craft. It's a Minecraft mod, and it's apparently one of, if not the most difficult mod out there. And yeah, I have to agree with them with the random spawns. Like because when you go into a world, like you say, you always land somewhere different. And then 9 out of 10, you're either going to be underwater or you're going to die to a dragon. And then you spawn somewhere else in the
Well,
world.
that's abrupt.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a lot of dragons. Nothing is safe. Nothing at all. You can't go and like, oh, I'm gonna go mining. That's not safe. I'm gonna go walk through the desert. Nope, that's not safe. There really isn't nothing safe basically in RO Craft. So it's more of a trial and error of if you're going to live longer or rage quit until you try again the next time.
Oh, look, a pretty flower. Ah, it's eating me.
Basically, and right along with RL, because RL means real life. So you also have to worry about the health on different parts of your body. You also have to make sure you drink water, and it has to be clean water because if it's not clean water, then you get the same effect as if you eat like rotten flesh. And then the skeletons all of a sudden have aimbots, so you can get headshotted in this game and die. So always wear a helmet. It's crazy.
So in other words, the skeletons are employing hacks.
Yes. And you have to
Yeah.
have an axe to get a tree. And the cool thing is the tree falls. It falls like an actual tree, and it like fall. And you can do like timber as it falls. It's really cool how the tree falls.
Can
I
you
know
kill
that,
things with the falling tree?
Yes, you can die if you stand underneath the falling tree.
I know one thing that I know from that mod is you have a temperature, like you have to make sure that your temperature is okay, and then you also have to make sure that your thirst meter is fine. Like how you say you can get thirsty, and you have to make sure you drink the right
Yep,
type of water. So
thirsty. You have the winter, and you have to stay warm, and then you have the summer. If you live in the desert, you gotta stay cool. And we just made it. Just make an air conditioning for the summer. Winter, yeah, you just make a campfire.
Oh boy, all that. I can't imagine DK over there being considering our time together and Don't Starve. That seems like that would be a huge problem.
Not the
Yeah.
bees!
Not the bees!
Yeah. That's too much I can barely handle Don't Starve and adding random monsters and like, you gotta make sure you drink. And I'm like, oh my God, drinking so much water.
And you
But
can't be in the darkness because then there's monsters that come out in the darkness.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Oh, just like Don't Starve.
Yep.
Yeah, DK, why don't you pick this? I haven't seen you playing this one. Come on, now.
Yes.
Sounds right up your alley. Come on.
But yeah, maybe one day as like I don't know, some kind of goal. I might jump in and check it out. But
Yes.
yeah. So those are our action games for 2019. The next category is adventure game. For me, there are some adventure games that I want to play, like Tomb Raider and Spyro and stuff like that, but I didn't get around to any of those. But the one game that I got around that I'm calling adventure because I'm calling it an adventure is Sea of Thieves. When I
can't imagine there being a more adventurous game than that, to be honest.
Yeah. The reason why I was a little bit hesitant to put it in because it's like a 4-person co-op game, and I don't really know if that it's still an adventure, but it's also kind of like an MMO. But I don't know.
I consider it an adventure.
Yeah.
So, I like the art style. I like the way. I like how it's getting the crew and you're out on the open seas. My issue with it is when I streamed it, I couldn't get it to install on my machine for a very silly reason, and I basically had to install it. We got it to install on Ray's machine, and she was actually able to play for the first hour of the stream while I was just commentating and fussing with my computer. But then whenever she got tired, then I signed into her machine and did video capture of her desktop into my computer so that I could get the stream to work, but I couldn't play it because of the video delay, and I had to turn sideways and stream and play the game with Kiki and Deep. And while it was fun, it was uncomfortable, but I picked that game not because of my situation that I had to stream it. I picked it because it was the most adventurous game I played that year, and I really want to play it again. If we can get the whole crew on the same server.
Mm-hmm.
If they can get like 8-player boats or something like that, and I'll be 100% on board. So
that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah. So for me, Sea of Thieves.
Just roll the ocean.
Yeah. So Psycho, what is your adventure game?
My adventure game is Dying Light. This is one I just recently got put onto. It's been out for quite some time, but I unfortunately have only just recently got into it.
Did you stream that one? I don't remember.
I have not streamed this one yet. Only because it was only recently given to me, and I kind of wanted to see what it was like. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. As seems to be my thing for the recent time frame, it is a zombie horror survival type game. But you are basically tasked with there's a zombie outbreak that has occurred because of a specific virus that has been let loose, and it has the same effects as what you would account for as in zombies and stuff like that. And
I think they said it's close to like rabies.
Yeah, it's something similar, but I mean the fact that the people that have been affected by it essentially are decomposed, essentially dead-looking things that are trying to bite you essentially. I mean, I'm like, yeah, it's essentially zombies. I mean, come on.
Nom 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 nom.
Let's just be honest with this. We're talking about zombies here. Come on. But yeah, you have to. So I consider it. I mean, definitely as far as the adventure category, because you're traversing this town. You're taking upon missions. you're having to figure out, what you need to do to survive, what you need to do to get your, because you at one point in the very beginning end up getting bitten. So now you're having to take some of these antibiotics that are more or less, they're not getting rid of the plague on you, but they're moderating the symptoms.
It's a prevention.
Yeah, it's just like, well, it's gonna happen at some point, but we're at least letting you live for a while, kind of thing. But I've always enjoyed games. I mean, this is another one where I don't necessarily know what zombies are appearing in random spurts all over the place. You don't necessarily know who or where or what, which I'm cool with, because I'll take out a load of zombies in one area and then come back around and be like, wait, I literally just killed everything here. Why are there more zombies? What the fuck? So I mean, it has that ideology of like, hey, they're there and they're simply taking care of what's going on, and you got roaming hordes essentially, kind of thing.
Is that the game with like the just billions of zombies pouring out everywhere?
No, I don't think that's the same one.
I think that's Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I think that's Left 4 Dead as far as that goes.
Where you just suddenly get bum rushed by zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wait, Left 4 Dead is older.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a guy on a motorcycle?
No. This is that's Oh, I know what you're talking about. That one came out on PlayStation 4. Shoot. Try to remember the name of it, but
Days Gone. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, different one, different altogether. But
okay,
because this one's way older than that one was.
Okay.
But I mean, it's still a lot of fun. I haven't really delved too much into it. I barely scratched the surface of it. Weapons you have to kind of craft on the fly. They have degradation on your weapons, so you have to be careful about how much you're using them, and always keep in mind that you have to repair them. So you have to kind of look at how much progress or how much it's down, so that way in case you're in the middle of a fight, you can't just be like, oh crap, last swing, and you're still surrounded by like 3 or 4 zombies. You're like, crap, I need to run away so I can repair my item.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's to me it's a lot linear because you are kind of on a mission, but you can kind of roam around and do what you want, and it's fun for me in that regard. So I enjoy it. I'm hoping to play more with Spaz and Major later on today, potentially.
I'm going to be a zombie, and I'm going to hunt them down.
Yeah, apparently there's multiplayer where you have people who are zombies who join in, so you have humanized zombies who will try to attack you or kill you. So, seems interesting. I haven't played that yet, but either way, yeah, a lot of fun.
What is your...
So, for my adventure, I have Dark Souls Remastered.
Okay.
I fell in love with the first Dark Souls back on the Xbox 360, and then when I saw that the remaster was coming out, I'm just like, ooh, I'm gonna get that, and then it dropped for free for me, and I'm just like, oh, nice.
Wow.
Because I already owned it on Steam, the Prepare to Die edition.
Okay.
And that's an accurate statement because you will die.
Okay.
Even on the back of the case, it has in big red letters, "You will die."
Wow.
Well, at least see if they're preparing you for what's to come ahead.
Yeah. Kind of the similar aspect where you have to keep an eye on your weapons, your armor, for the condition of them. It kind of given free roam of how you do things, but certain areas won't unlock until other things are done. an engaging storyline. You can build your character in various different ways. My personal favorite is I have two different playstyles. One I called is Dorcas Maximus. Wait, is it Dorcas Maximus? I think so. He's a mage.
Okay.
And then I have the Dork Knight.
Does the Dark Knight rise?
No, the Dork Knight.
Yes, that's the Dark Knight rise.
Only the biggest thing I have to do is I have to get a Dark Knight weapon early on, and those are rare drops.
Ooh.
So they have varying drops inside of it, basically.
Yeah, it's very RNG based if you get a drop or not.
Okay.
There are certain things you can do to increase it. Probably one of my favorite things is it is semi multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where
I
you
think
can have people join your game, or you can join other people's games for pretty much boss fights.
I was about to say, isn't there like some sort of invasion feature or something?
Yes, you can invade people. That's not something I do.
That sounds bad.
Because huh?
One way to say it is like, oh, you can like put out, can you come help me with the game? And another way to put it is like, oh, I just go around invading people's games and messing up their progress.
Yeah. I've actually been invaded a few times, and I've actually fought off the invaders, and I'm not a PvP person in that. So I got lucky.
I was about to say, I know there was one video I remember seeing a while back about somebody who invaded somebody else, and they were like hacking, cheating, or whatever.
No.
But the thing is that they essentially forced the person to fall off a ladder and kill himself.
Yeah. There's also, at least in the first one, bleed weapons can break through the broken health.
Mm.
But as I said, it's very fun. For me, I like a challenge, and that game is kind of the definition of a challenge.
I think the whole series is pretty much a definition of a challenge.
Yeah.
Dark Souls, or because that's Dark Souls, and then there's like, there's another Souls game that was also like that, or
the first game of the Souls series was called Demon Souls.
Demon Souls, that's right.
Ah.
So I remember
the server just went offline for that.
Oh, that's a shame.
A little while ago.
Okay. And I think the most recent game that same studio's done is Sekiro. I know a lot of people played that on Twitch this year. Or last year.
I know something that was also considered to be a Souls game was Bloodborne.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That came out for the PS4.
But it's definitely an interesting game. As I said, I enjoyed it. I haven't gotten too much in the second or the third one, just because there's so much that got changed in it.
Mm-hmm.
I like being able to spam magic and say, oh, I have this amount of casts, and I don't have to worry about stamina. And they changed that.
Oh, dang.
That sucks.
Yeah, they just wanted to change it, so. But all in all, if you like a hard game, this is definitely one for you.
Cool. Kiki, what do you have for adventure game of 2019?
So, like Taco, I had also picked Sea of Thieves, and I picked it more based off of the newest tale that came out. And there's a lot of tales in Sea of Thieves, because I know before this one came out, I'm pretty sure let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there's 9 tales out there. So you can go around and adventure and learn a lot of different things. But the most recent one that came out, which was the Seabound Souls tale, it is so good. And it takes you to a part of the world that isn't actually isn't actually traveled much because of how dangerous it is. And so I'm glad they actually finally integrated a tail that makes you go to that more dangerous section of the map
Mhm.
because that section is filled of volcanoes, and now with the new fire aspect they just added with the last update, and your boat can catch on fire now. Not a lot of people journey through that. And so yeah, so this new tail makes you go over there, and it's I mean, I'm so glad they actually put this in there. And the storyline right along with it is also a really great story with amazing music. And I'm like a person that's really big into like the music and games since I used to be like a band person. So like the music in here, it's so good. And I highly recommend playing the newest Tale. But I guess you would technically need to play all the other ones up because it is based off another tale that just came out before. But other than that, I highly recommend you playing it.
That's a lot of tails.
It's a lot of tales. I know it's like a nine tales.
So when you say
QB is
Tales,
released.
is that kind of like their version of an expansion?
I guess you can say that because like at
Or is it
first I
kind of
don't.
like a Minecraft update where it's like they're just playing around with stuff that's already in the game? Or
Yeah, I would be more like an expansion, like you said, because at first they didn't have any tails, and then the first one that came out with nine tails, and then the last two have been two separate ones, but nothing like on the map has really changed except adding in one island that goes along with the tail that came in after the first nine. So I guess you would say there's more like expansion. So it's building up on all the tales basically. So it's a continuous story.
Hmm.
okay, and are they expanding the world, or are they more like filling in the world?
Mm, more like filling it in, I guess, because like I said, nothing really has changed on the world except them adding in two islands. One of them that you can only get through by doing one of the tales, and the other one is it's there that you can go to it by doing certain things, or you can do the tale that's technically specifically for that island.
Okay, and I'm kind of curious. So the two islands that they added before, were you able to go there before they implemented the island? It was just water,
It was just
or
water. They weren't even
okay,
on the map.
okay, cool. Do you know anything that's upcoming for that game? Because I know I want to revisit that game for the Variety Power Hour. Um, I just don't know when. But do you know any upcoming things that are going to be happening?
I don't know of anything upcoming, but I know after playing the newest tale that just came out, I know they have another tale coming because from the ending of it, it's basically a cliffhanger of something you did. So something's gonna be coming.
Hmm.
All right. So the next category we have for 2019 is role-playing games, whether they're RPGs, playing a character that's in the story already, or for my answer, you assume the character that you're playing. And for me, I have Friday the 13th, a game that a lot of people don't like. But when I played it, it was very, very dark and I couldn't see anything, but it was very fun. Uh, we played it for our oh my God. We played it for our October Variety Power Hour. And uh, yeah, for those who don't know, Friday the 13th is an asymmetric game where there's a bunch of people on a map and one person is the killer and all the rest of the people are the survivors or whatever flavor of character that the game assigns them to. So because it's based in the Friday the 13th lore, You are one person is Jason, and everybody else is camp counselors. So, yeah, I died every single round. Ray died every single round, and I almost got Kiki one round, but the time ran out, so Kiki won every single round.
Yes.
That seems to be a common theme.
Yeah. I'm
Just gonna
trying.
throw that out there. That seems to be a common.
But yeah, I've always been wanting to try asymmetrical games. Because what was one of the first? What was that? There was like an Alien one or something. Not Alien as in that franchise, but there was like a monster or something like that, and like people got really upset because of you could pre-order and like get either specific weapons in the game or you can get a specific character or something like that. Evolve.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there was
God, I
like,
haven't thought about that game in forever.
yeah, it got buried. So yeah, I remember that game coming out, and I thought it was a cool idea, but then it came out with this controversy that a lot of people got mad about. And after that, I didn't really like. It was way before I started the channels and everything, so there was probably a slim chance of me ever playing it. But now that we have the Variety Power Hour, I'm trying a bunch of different games that I normally don't play, and the Friday the 13th is like a franchise that I already know, and it's that type of game. So I really had fun playing it. There's two things that one thing that I wish would change about that game is you could change the gamma or brighten up the game somehow, because I turned the gamma to the max and it just made everything light gray and I still couldn't see. So, but yeah, that was the. Oh, and also whenever I was Jason, I would like pretend like I was actually Jason and like like in one of the versions of Jason, like his mom's talking to him. And she's like, "Kill them, my son." And I'm like, "Yes, mama." Like, just kind of being silly. But yeah, that I had a lot of fun acting like I was Jason in that game. So that was my version of role play. Psycho, what game do you have for role play game of tournament?
Mine probably isn't a big surprise for any who follow or watch my channel. Mine is 7 Days to Die. And despite how Spaz has said, they have issues as far as the game itself goes.
I'm falling.
I don't know if it's my issues, their issues. I don't know, because I've seen other people, and I don't think they have nearly as many issues as I do. But regardless, the game is in alpha. It's been in alpha for 6 years now, I want to say. We're up to alpha 18. And I don't know, it's a lot of fun. You're basically put into a survival situation. You're dropped into the middle of nowhere. There are preset spawn points, and you're essentially just told to survive. And every 7 days, there will be a horde of zombies who, no matter where you are or what you're doing, they're going to know exactly where you are, and you just have to be able to fend them off. So it kind of comes down to sort of a survival base building sort of operation, where you have to figure out, based upon the bases themselves, how you can best defend them off. I mean, and they'll come at you from every which angle, and they'll try to take you down however they can, and you just have to be able to survive, essentially. The reason I say it's a role-playing game is because you actually have points that you use in order to level your character up. So in that sense, it's definitely an RPG type game, and you can have your character act, or you can level up your character in whichever way it most is comfortable to you. So if you're more geared towards I'm running guns, then they have skills that will work for you. If you're like, I'm more towards the crafting situation where I like to build things, they have something for you. If you're, it's like however you want to play it, you can play it. And I really appreciate the way that they allow people to do that.
Okay.
So, worlds can be as small or as big as you want. And, you're constantly running around trying to find, things that you need to survive. You're trying to find food rations, you're trying to find weapons, you're trying to find gear, you're trying to find all these different things that you may need. And, it's, to me, just that variety of everything you can do is just absolutely just the most fun I can do. And I'm always constantly seeing new people coming up with new ideas on how to build bases and how to best cheese the zombies and cause them to, not be able to kill you. And the more I do, the more ideas I get and the more I want to try. And it just kind of compounds on it, which is why I have almost 1,800 hours into the game.
Dang.
But I mean, I started playing on Alpha 15, I want to say. And every time they've updated it, like even after this last update, it has changed so dramatically from its previous ones that you're almost playing a new game. So I think the game's like $30 on Steam, and it's like, if you want to get your money's worth out of something and you're good with like first-person survival shoot 'em games, get the game, because it's totally worth it. Yes, it does have its difficulties. It does have its problems, as Spaz has noted. But again, it is an alpha game.
It's still fun, though.
I don't necessarily fault any game, especially when they say they're in alpha, for being that way. And the fact that they're constantly updating and they're constantly listening to their community, which I think is the biggest thing too, I really feel like is what I, so many developers out there don't listen to their communities nowadays. It's just so sad. But the fact that they do, I really appreciate, and it shows in the quality and what they do. So.
Spaz, what is your role-play game in 2019?
So this is one where Psycho and I definitely diverge, because I picked Borderlands 3.
Okay.
Because it made me laugh so much. I love the variety of weapons. There's a grown man running around in his underwear and a cape.
Captain Underpants, okay.
And they just released the first story DLC that's not a repeatable quest. And it was very interesting. Some of the weapons that they came out with. All in all, I just love the Borderlands franchise, and my character that I first played through as may have made the game a little bit more difficult, but I don't regret playing as him because he made me laugh so much.
I don't know. The series itself, I mean, you know DK as well as anyone else. I love Borderlands.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Say this. I absolutely, I love Borderlands, but it's just the biggest problem that this game has is that I feel like they tried to placate too hard to a younger quote unquote generation. They try to be hip with it kind of thing. And you're just like, because the villains that they put into it are like about as stereotypical of a millennial as you could possibly get. They're like YouTubers who are making videos about carnage and people dying and everything. And, at the end of every video, the freaking siren girl on there is like, comment, and obey. And you're just like, really?
What's up?
Really?
Mike from Vsauce here. Watch me kill this guy.
Yeah, I'm just like, come on. Are you for real now? Come on. That's just horrible. So, I mean, it just, there was an expectation, I feel like, because after the pre-sequel came out, there was a
You
lot of
lost all hope.
there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of controversy after a pre-sequel came out, and people were like, this is, if you're gonna do it, do something right, get it right. Don't just yada yada yada. And everyone was like, all right, no, we're the message that was sent out to the community was, we're gonna do this right. We're going to make what happened before better and everything. And in one hand, they did. On the other hand, not so much.
They could never replace Jack as a villain.
Honestly, at this point, I'm almost tired of Jack. I really am. Because they used him in Borderlands 2. They used him.
No. I'm just saying.
They used him in. But I mean, in general, it's like I'm almost just tired of Jack in general.
I'm just saying, as a villain, you can't really top him.
I can agree with that, but I was ready for something new. I was ready to hear and be amazed at just how much they would put into it. And then they did what they did, and I'm looking at it going, I mean, honestly, they could have put Penn and Teller as the boss, and I'd have felt better about it.
They were a boss.
No, I mean, like the main boss. It's like, you know what? Have one of them be a freaking siren. I would have been happier about that.
Have Teller be the Terror be the boss. Doesn't even talk.
Exactly. I would have been great. That would have been like, this is awesome, because that would have felt like Borderlands without beating someone over the head with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Borderlands from even the very beginning has always been about this funny, witty, slapstick comedy.
Like Ninetales.
Yeah, and that from the very beginning, the very first boss that you ever come against in Borderlands 1, whose name is Nine Toes, and you're like, wait, what? And then the caption underneath it goes, 9 toes, and he has 3 balls. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, that from the very beginning, I'm like, all right, this is what we're in for. This is what we signed up for. All right, cool. And I just don't feel like Borderlands 2, I feel like they recaptured the magic. They made it better. They pushed it forward. And then Borderlands pre-sequel came out. They lost it. Borderlands 3 came out. They tried to regain it, but they're still not quite there.
No, but we still have the opportunity for some good DLC. The first one came out. Very interesting. They brought back a character I loved. Well, let's just see where it goes.
I'm waiting for it. So I can't say one way or the other. If I were writing a review for the game at this time, I'd be like, meh. Is it good? Is it bad? Not really in between. It's kind of like, it's meh.
Okay. So I was very curious to talk about you about this game, because I know that I think this is one of the games that started your Twitch channel.
It did.
Yeah. So as far as what disappoint, like I'm like very interested to see, like I'm glad to like hear this. So so the villain was subpar.
Oh, very.
Subpar.
Yeah.
I would say it's the worst villain of the series.
Yeah,
Dang,
probably.
oh my God.
I would say. So there have been 5 games if you include Telltale out of them. 5 games in the series, and this is the worst villain out of all of them.
And I've played all the games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So other than the villain, were there other parts that were bad, or did the villain just kind of tank it overall?
I mean, because they put so much focus on the villain.
Yeah.
Because that was your focus from the get-go. And I think the storyline progression after that was very lackluster.
Okay.
And I say this because they set things as bad as I've put down as far as the pre-sequel goes. As bad as that has been, and as bad as I've said it's been, they set something in motion for it to... It intrigued people. It wanted them to see more. They're because they had the what is it, the Watcher, essentially.
Yeah.
There's as it, and it seems like, oh my God, some crazy stuff's gonna happen. This is awesome.
Yeah.
And then they ended the pre-sequel, and you're like, all right, next game. This is gonna be it. They're gonna describe all this stuff going on. At the end of Borderlands 2, you get a what is it, You get the map from the key shows
Oh, and it
all
shows,
these
like,
different worlds with
like
all these
hundreds
different
of vaults.
hundreds of vaults, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna see so many vaults!"
Pretty much a
And
Halo 2 ending.
yeah, you're like, this is gonna be awesome. I can't wait to go to different planets. I can't wait to do this, that, and the other thing. And what we got was their focus was almost entirely on the sirens.
So there was no vaults at all?
The sirens are a main character, don't get me wrong. They're the ones who can actually open the vaults. So don't get me wrong. I get it. But when you had so much built up on the fact that the vaults are a thing and we're going to open up a whole bunch of vaults, which don't get me wrong, we opened up like, what, 5, 6 vaults? I want to say. Actually, no, I think it was 5.
I think it's 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5. But, like, you show so many vaults, and everyone's like, oh, we're going vault hunting now. And you're like, sweet, this is going to be awesome. And then we opened 5 vaults. And then this whole overarching storyline about how important the vaults are and their whole purpose and meaning behind it. And it all boils down to one vault can destroy Pandora. And they're like, wait, we were moving away from Pandora. That was in the beginning. We were going planet hopping. We were doing all this crazy stuff. What the heck? You know, it's like, I feel like they could have done so much more.
Okay.
You know,
my biggest fault on it was multiplayer. That was atrocious.
I guess which parts were bad? Because I know one of the big things was from a person who doesn't play the game. The biggest thing that I noticed from the game was multiplayer. So I guess what part did they fail at?
The biggest part for me is just the fact that the connectivity, one, it just takes so long for anyone to get in the game.
See, I don't know.
When they're together,
I don't know if that was necessarily the game's fault or the original controversy about the fact that it was on Epic Store.
No. I was just saying because remember when we were playing together, it would take. When we were playing solo, we'd be like, "Oh, I'm in the next area. Okay, 10-second load screen. That's not bad at all." To it taking minutes to load up the next screen and potentially kicking somebody.
No, I get you. But at the same time, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the game's fault, considering the game on its own was running just fine, or if it's Epic's fault.
So like the platform that it was on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't necessarily say one way or the other whose fault it was in regards to that. I just know that, yeah, it was atrocious. And it was, I mean, you can't, even if it was the platform's fault, you can't necessarily not blame Gearbox for it because Gearbox is the one who
decided where it was going to be going.
Yeah, they decided on where it was going to be going.
Yeah.
Which was a huge controversy for so many people.
Yeah, especially okay.
Oh, well, I was just to point out what Psycho was saying. But yeah, because that was a game that I was looking forward to playing, but because it was going to be on Epic and I'm not a big fan of their launcher, it's the reason why I still haven't played the game.
It is on Steam now, though.
Is it on Steam now?
Yeah. There's a timed exclusive, right?
I want to say.
Okay.
Ooh, I'll have to check out into that then.
Everybody's like, oh, let's go get the game
now. I don't see it yet. I thought it was for a year that it would be on Epic.
Oh, really? Because I know that I thought that was going to be the same time as the console launch, and the console launch has already happened.
As I said, I was pretty sure it was dealing with, it was going to be a year.
Okay. So
I just thought it was the console launch, but I could be wrong.
It released how many months ago? So it's like 6 to go.
They released it in September.
Oh, September.
Okay. So like another 9% or another.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, I get it because it's such a big franchise and everybody was anticipating the sequel, and then to kind of uproot it and put it on basically a new platform, and those parts failing for something that people expect, I can see why that would be a disappointing part for it. So,
Well, it's a game known for its multiplayer.
yeah,
If you don't cripple what you're known for.
Yeah. Well, and to me, I think that's where the pre-sequel and their original downfall in this franchise has started to go from, is because they took the best parts of what made the game and decided we're going to go a completely different way. Which, don't get me wrong, if a game is going to do that, I get it. When you're trying to reinvent yourself and trying to, start something new, I totally get that. But if there's an expectation for you, don't try to make it sound like you're still fulfilling that expectation when you're really not. But I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. I kind of got lost because I know this was a big Psycho game, but this was Spaz's.
Yeah, this was Spaz's role-playing game.
Role-playing, okay. Okay, so Kiki. What was your role-playing game of 2019?
So this is something I didn't know about and learned from watching somebody else. But apparently, Grand Theft Auto 5 has a huge roleplay community. And where you can go on different, there's like certain servers that you have to like they take it serious. Like you got to fill out the application, and then they'll decide on if you get to go into that certain server. And then I didn't think it was that big of a thing, let alone even knew that Grand Theft Auto had a role playing stuff.
Yeah,
So I thought
actually,
that was interesting.
yeah, I also discovered that this year, and there was one guy that he basically turned into my background guy. So whenever he was streaming, I'd have him on in the background, and I think I can't remember the group that he's part of, but yeah, that's one thing that I discovered last year, and I know a lot of people got into it too. Even some really big YouTubers even big YouTubers also got into that whole role playing thing. So yeah.
I don't understand it, honestly. I mean, I'm really curious. It's just Grand Theft Auto 5 has been out for how long now? I mean, it's been a game
7 years almost.
Yeah, it's been a thing for quite some time, and it's cool if gamers out there are reinventing and trying something new with the platform or whatever. But it just seems weird that it just all of a sudden this became such a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It was. I remember reading so many things about it. I'm like, holy crap, where did this come from? Because I'm looking at it going, wait, this game's been out for forever. I mean, why are we now just being like, hey, we can roleplay in this game? It's like, I mean, did figure this out and figure it out? Brilliant! And everyone's like, oh my god, it's a brilliant idea. Where did this come from?
So, other than jumping into playing it, has anybody watched another streamer do that? Because I know Markiplier jumped into it, and I don't know if Jack did. Jacksepticeye did as well. But was there anybody else that y'all watched, or was it just hearing about it or playing it?
I literally just heard about it. So
okay.
I only learned about it from watching a different streamer.
Okay. The one person that I got brought into, his name is the Jam Jar, but it's Te Jam Jar, and he's part of the household, I think. And my coworker Deep, he actually introduced me into it because he had been watching that guy stream. It's not 7 Days to Die, but it's another survival and mix 7 Days to Die with Call of Duty or something. It's another game like that. But yeah, I can't remember the name of the game. But he did role playing there for a long time, and then he switched over to Grand Theft Auto years ago, and then he's been slowly building this giant narrative. And when I jumped in, he's a driver, so he basically just drives people around, and he also owns a mechanic shop. And one of the things that I caught him in, and it basically, the whole thing turned into a movie for me. Basically, he was driving. He found this one guy. He basically picked up the guy, drove him to a gas station. The guy robbed the gas station. He jumped in, drove off. They were running from the police. They lost the police for a second. Both of them split up. He switched cars, got into another car, and they just started driving like nothing happened. And I'm just glued to the stream. I'm like, what is this? Oh my God. So me getting recommended that channel and then an hour and a half later being like, I gotta listen to more of this. So then I'm like trying to catch myself up on all the different storylines that he has going on. And then it comes to this one point where there's two different groups. I'm not sure if they're like one group's selling drugs, selling weed, another group is like doing something else, and they're like certain parts of the city that they can't, like certain people can't go to, but then he's like kind of like a free agent. He can do whatever he wants, but he's like kind of loyal to some people and then trying not to cause trouble. It was just this weird dramatic thing, and something happened. One person like either shot or attacked another person, and then that basically got him on the bad side of both groups, but then he's also had to run for the police. It was just this huge dramatic story. And when everything was about to happen, and he basically had to make a choice whether he was going to go after somebody that kill them because they had hurt one of his friends, or betray the group that he was loyal to or something like that. Like that day, I had 3 different perspectives of 3 different streamers who were all parts of the story. I just had it like all over like different screens, and I'm just like, what's happening? And it's like, oh, you don't know. He's talking about it right now, but y'all can't talk to each other. And I'm like, no, that's not what he's trying to do. So I'm just like super in, like I was stressed out basically. And, so yeah, I never participated in it, and I only watched through like basically one streamer. But yeah, as far as role playing goes, that's like completely out of my.
Okay, I guess I can see where the draw in that is, because since you have so much that you can do in there, I guess it makes sense, because just like you're saying, if you're legit creating a story arc inside this freaking game, and you have multiple people who are all, watching or going along with you, I guess I could see where that would then come into play with that. It seems so weird to me not to, because now the way you're describing it almost sounds like a K-drama.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I could see where people would be on board for that.
Yeah, just like how Kiki said that there's like a process to get like allowed onto the server.
Well, yeah, because I guess there needed to be like a lot of agreements.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
variety of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different. Well, first of all, to get it to actually work, there's like this giant modding tool that mods the game to where you're like, yeah, you can go to a shop and get your car fixed and stuff like that, or the way they built it, where you would go to a person, like go to a location, you would transfer money from your bank to their bank, and then they would go in and like they could just type in the command and push enter and your car's fixed. But no, he would like lean over the car and type like DJ or something like that, and he's like just wiggling his hands over the engine like he's fixing it, and then like somewhere in there he would like replace this part with that part, and then like get under the car and like I think throw his hands up, but then like ragdoll, so he would like slide under the car, and like it's all these like different commands that you could do to make it actually look like he's working on the car. So I can see why there's certain servers that like you have to have a certain level of like you basically have to prove yourself that you can actually keep all of the storylines going, that you have to make sure that you can keep a handle on your chat so your chat's not running from stream to stream, like spoiling things. Because I'm like, I could have easily spoiled something. I'm like, no, that's not what he's trying to do. He meant like this. But I'm like, I after watching it for like, it was probably like 2 or 3 months over the summer that I like really got into it. And I knew the rules and everything, and I just had to just watch everything play out. So, but yeah, that's like one of the big guys who are actually streaming it, and I think because I think there was some because that's been going on for years. I think that there's one thing that happened, like maybe another server came up and allowed everybody on it or allowed other streamers on it, because that has always been a big thing, kind of not in the shadows, but like it wasn't a big mainstream thing. It's always been like on the outskirts of streaming, where these big communities have these big storylines and all that kind of stuff going on. Mm-hmm. Something happened to bring it into the mainstream to where everybody was doing that at one point. And I don't know what that link was. But yeah, other than those kind of things, like what all types of things did you actually like participate in some of the role playing things, or were you just like amazed by the spectacle of it?
I was just amazed at the spectacle of it, honestly, for me.
Mm-hmm. And then Kiki,
Nah. I don't think I can. I've just watched because there's just the fact, because like GTA is basically like, it's like no rules. You just go in there and do whatever you want. If I feel like running over 20,000 people, I mean, I can go and run over 20,000 people. It ain't gonna matter. And just the fact that there's actually a role playing where if you run over 20,000 people, you're gonna go to jail. It's just the fact that it's actually, and then there's like the people that are actually medics that actually come and get it. It's just a factor of heart that there's actually people that role play actually being good in a game where it's meant for you just to do whatever you feel like.
See, unfortunately, I know I'd be quite evil. I'd pretend to be a mechanic and do what you were saying about like ragdolling underneath the car, but then I'd place a C4 on it. And I would do that to like a few cars, and then I'm like, oh, it's about that time. Click. Boom, 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 boom. And I feel good.
Wow. Yeah. The highest level of role play I could do is making a voice for Jason. Like I'd have to dedicate so much to try to pull something like that off. It's very intriguing and it was very fun to like experience those like 2 to 3 months of story. There was large chunks that I would miss because I'd be at work, and then my coworker would be like, "Hey, he's streaming." And I'm like, "Oh, guess I'm gonna miss what's going on. Maybe somebody will talk about it later." But I was so busy this summer that I couldn't backtrack and like catch up on the story, because it's like he was streamed like 13 hours. And I'm like, how am I gonna find 13 hours to catch up on this storyline? Because tomorrow he's about to stream another 13 hours. Like I just got left behind on the story. I don't even know what's happening now. I don't know if his character died or he's moved on to another one. There was one week where they kind of like did throwaway characters where they're like, just make up somebody new and be him for the week, or her for the week. And if they die, they die. If not, then maybe you can bring them and implement them into the main story that's going on. But it was kind of like give everybody a break from like their main character and all that kind of stuff, to where they could just do whatever. And man, that was like a really, really fun time with watching all of that. So, even though that was Kiki's topic, I feel like we took that over. So yeah, the next category is simulation game for 2019. Mine is very short. I tried to think of a game that had simulator in the title, or something that was like kind of like role play, but like follow the rules. And my game is Euro Truck Simulator. That's basically 2 reasons why I picked this game. One, is because I wanted to play it because the Chosen One played it a few times when I first got into Twitch, and I just wanted to play it. And he also played the multiplayer version with another streamer, Chaotic, and I wanted to do that myself. So I started one of the other streaming series, Variety Power Hour, and that's the game that gave me the idea to do that. For trying a bunch of random games, and when we finally got to it, like almost a year in, it was very funny. We didn't actually get the multiplayer to work properly because you basically have to be very good at the game. If you drive, if you accidentally drive, like if the sun sets and you don't know how to turn on your headlights, like me, it'll kick you out of the server. If you and it's like a very seamless, like it's just all of a sudden it's like you have your instance of the world running, and then there's instances of other characters. And if you drive too long and like one of the other people on the server is driving and they're like, oh, you're kicked, they'll just poof. And then you're still driving like you were, it's just you don't see anybody else. So then you have to exit the game, log back into the server, and then make sure you don't break any rules, and or she'll just get booted out again. So as far as the whole executing on how I wanted the game to be executed, it didn't go well. But as far as playing the game and like, also I bought a stupid wheel because I wanted to like actually drive the truck, and I wanted to get a trucker hat and everything, and all of that just fell through. I got the wheel because it was on like clearance, and I put it on my table, and it had suction cups and everything, and it slid around the table.
Oh god!
So anytime I turned, it just went and slid off the table. So I couldn't anchor it down, so it just wouldn't work. So maybe if we end up trying it again, or if we play another racing game or something like that, I can figure out how to anchor it onto my standing desk without drilling a hole in it, or drilling holes in it or something. I bought the wheel. I want to use it. So, Ray Ray and Kiki also joined me for that, and Kiki was way better at the game than me, like normal. And then Ray Ray, she ended up getting a double decker, not double decker, but like a double length truck. Oh. So it had like two of the things in the back.
God.
And she got stuck.
That was funny.
And it was just traffic backing up for miles because there are NPC cars in the game, and they're all like, and she's like, I can't get out. So, yeah, I really had a lot of fun playing that.
Oh, and then you have the other people that are on the server driving. They want to like drive around you, and they'll be like just speeding off, and I'm just like, but the speed limit, or they'll be sitting outside because they go like the same destination that you went, and you have to like park your truck. And I'm so like, hold up, I'm trying to get this into the designated spot that it wants me to, so I can get the extra points.
Yeah. So, I think you also dropped this Psycho at the very end, where like the game spawned me in like a construction site. It was just nothing but dirt around me, and they're like, "Okay, you can leave now." I'm like, "Go where? There's no lines. It's all dirt." So I was just driving around in circles for like 5 minutes trying to get out. Yeah, like I definitely want to play that again, and I want to go ahead and do everything to the T's. Give you a trucker hat, give you a toothpick or something. I don't know, just all the stereotypical trucker stuff. Learn trucker slang and all that kind of stuff, and just completely dive into another role because I like doing those things. But my simulation game is Euro Truck Simulator. Psycho, what is your simulation game for 2019?
My simulation game I put, because this was one of those that I had a hard time trying to figure out what I would even put for a simulation game on here, but My simulation game that I put on here was Slime Rancher.
Okay.
I figured that qualified as simulation just because you're a farmer. It's even though you're a farmer of slime, you're still a farmer. You have
Well,
to
in
take
all
care of.
fairness, I think you're a rancher of slimes.
Well, rancher, yeah, we'll say that. It's farmer, rancher. I know they're probably way different, but regardless, it still counts. This is one game I picked up a long while back. I feel like what did it come out like 2 or 3 years ago? So I think I picked it up not long after it came out. I originally had watched Jacksepticeye play it, and I thought it looked really interesting. I thought it looked really funny. Because again, you're a rancher of slimes, and you have to keep certain slimes away from each other because certain ones require certain food, certain ones will try to eat other ones, certain ones will try to. You're just like, all right, guys, you need to chill the fuck out.
Other ones will just wreck your day.
Yeah, and other ones will wreck your day because they'll actually there's like exploding slimes, and you do have health. So there are times when you have to literally put them in. So like some of them you can put them in just a base cage. Some of them you have to put them in a cage with a top on it so they don't escape. Because you're like, no, you guys stay inside there. I don't want to have you bouncing out and exploding everything else to pieces. And then some of them are very much they can't stand the light. So you had a cave that you could put those in, making pins for and being able to take care of them. You had auto feeders. You could actually build, because some of them required fruits or vegetables, so you could make those. Some of them required being in water. And, I don't think there's necessarily a real point to the game. Again, it's just Rancher Simulator with slimes. So, you eventually get to a point where you're like, I've explored everywhere I needed to explore. I've gotten as many plots as I could to be able to fill up for as many slimes as I could. Everyone is fully upgraded. I've seen every type of slime. The only thing you had to worry about big time is like during the night there are certain if another slime fused into another slime that was a different type, they would end up making this weird black sludge slime.
A tar.
Yeah, that you basically that would start killing all the other slimes.
And wrecking your day.
And wrecking your day. So you'd have to pick them up and shoot them off the cliff. No, go away. You're not welcome here.
Or overly hydrate them and make them explode.
Yeah, or that. But I mean, again, it's definitely nothing I would consider groundbreaking, but it was a fun game for what it was. It was a nice game where you could actually sit down, play it, and not have to be it's not overly adrenaline hype like GTFO is, or you don't have to concentrate on it really hard 7 days sometimes. It's literally just I can just sit down, relax, take care of my slime ranch. It's fine.
I might get that game for Ray.
Yeah, no, actually, she probably would enjoy it.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
No.
It's got the cute little slimes.
Mm-hmm.
Whirling around.
Literally, they'll tell you what to feed them. They'll be like, okay, this one prefers meat, this one prefers vegetables, this one prefers fruit.
This one will eat anything.
This one will eat anything. So.
Cool. Spaz. What is your simulation?
For me, I picked Gmod just because you can do whatever you want. You want to build, you can. You want to go in and play a game where you can kill each other, you can do that. In my opinion, it's kind of the ultimate simulation.
Okay.
Except
what did you do?
Lines all over the place.
Hey, I figured out what was causing that, so
Okay. What did you do the most in that game? Is there like a specific mode or a game that you?
For me, I like Prop Hunt and Trouble in Terrace Town.
Okay. Prop Hunt is one game that I wanna play for Variety Power Hour. As it gonna nail down the time.
I definitely like Trouble in Terrace Town, especially since now that I have all these different weapons.
Okay.
One of them is not so appropriate, but I was using it and I shot Psycho in the face with it.
Okay.
And all I saw was an error, which I'm very grateful after you told me what it was that he shot me with.
But there's a lot of fun weapons, including a minigun called the Chickenator. It shoots out a bunch of eggs that spawn into chickens that go.
Okay.
And they hurt a lot.
Cool. So those were the two main ones that you played in that game. Is there any other like things that you kind of want to try or?
I'd like to get into the sandbox a little bit and create our own maps for Prop Hunt and TTT.
Okay.
You should try some of the death runs in Gmod.
That's one of the things I was wanting to do.
Those are fun.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So whenever I get the schedule for this year, I plan on doing a Variety Power Hour for Prop Hunt. So welcome to join us. I don't know when yet, but that'll be on the schedule. And I don't think I've seen any videos on Trouble in Terrace Town, so I got to see if.
Do you have Counter-Strike Source?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then you'll have to try to find the texture pack for it then. Because a lot of the game modes either require you to have Counter-Strike Source installed to fill up all the missing errors.
That's how you do it. That's how you get like the different maps and different worlds and stuff.
Well, that's how you, if you already have them downloaded, because a lot of people use the Counter-Strike Source materials. That's the way your game won't be filled with errors.
Okay.
But with the thing that I sent to Psycho, there's only one bad part of it. You'll have crotch guns.
Okay.
Everyone's guns will be at crotch level.
Yeah. So he'll have like a sniper rifle just sticking out, just hello.
Okay. Yeah. I will go ahead and talk to you about the Counter-Strike Source because I'm not a big first-person shooter guy. This is why that one hasn't popped up on the list yet. But I'll have you help me get it all set up so we can play. Because I've seen Markiplier played 1 billion times, and that's another game that I want to try myself. So I'll try to make it one of the games for 2020. Kiki, what is your simulation game for 2019?
So my simulation game is a wonderful game that I discovered called Cooking Simulator. And just like in real life, you do the exact same thing in that game. But this one, I don't have to worry about actually dying when I stick a propane tank in the oil fryer.
Okay. Did you stream this game?
Yes, I actually did stream it on Twitch. I put a gas propane tank into the oil fryer. I put a fire extinguisher.
Was this on purpose or was this just by accident?
Okay, so I heard that you can set the kitchen on fire. So I was trying to set the kitchen on fire.
So you weren't trying to make a propane sandwich?
I would.
But I ended up just making explosions instead and breaking everything.
Okay. Was
She's
that a
after
recent
Mr.
stream?
Torg's heart.
Basically,
Who, Mr. Who?
Mr. Torg, explosions, Borderlands.
Explosions?
Okay. Was this a recent stream? Is the VOD still up, or is it a long time?
I think it's in December. I think I did a stream in December of it. I know I'm gonna play it some more. Don't worry. It'll be more because I need to. Okay, so like
I
there's
need
like a
my
sandbox
explosion fix.
mode. Well, no, it's a sandbox mode, and then there's a career mode where you're actually cooking for people, and there's a tutorial, but it's not a really great tutorial. And so in my career mode, I have to fix a machine, but I don't know how to fix the machine. So when I go into sandbox mode, I kind of lose track of what I'm supposed to be doing. And you got to break something to be able to fix it. And so,
Sounds
yeah.
really complicated.
I mean, it's like if you haven't played like Hand Simulator, it's almost like that but with cooking because you have to control your hand, you have to pick up the knife, you have to actually make it go up and down to chop the food. It's Then you got to take it and you have to put it in the container or in the pan or the pot, and you have to actually turn on the oven or the stove to cook it and watch it because it will burn, and then the people don't like it, then you won't get as much money.
Like, why don't you like it? Why are you not entertained?
If you don't put salt on the food and not just around the food, then it's not salted. You gotta actually hover over the food and make sure the seasoning is on the food, not just in the pot. They're difficult.
Okay.
It's a fun game, though.
I was saying this was fun.
It is a fun game.
It's a great game. They even had a little Christmas update where you can sit there and make Christmas meals, and you can judge if you have like you actually cook like you're having like a Christmas party, and outside the kitchen there's a room filled with like a dining table, and you can have one guest or you can have 8 guests, and you can have a super.
Did you have to set the table?
No, you didn't have to set the table.
Okay, I was like, oh man. Yeah.
But you did have to pick what you were going to serve each person, and you can pick a super easy meal, or you can be try hard and pick a super hard meal.
Like chicken or fish. Okay, chicken or fish.
Yeah, like they show you what they prefer to eat. Like the one thing, like this person might want some roast beef, or this person might want fish, and then they'll show you what meals uses that particular thing that you can pick from.
Oh man.
You want fish? You're getting filet mignon.
Everybody's getting spaghetti.
But I wanted filet mignon like the other guy had. No, you get spaghetti.
No, you want filet mignon? Here, you get water. That's all you get.
No soup for you.
But yeah, like you learn. It's a learning process. Like I learned that when you make pumpkin soup, you can just leave it in a pan and leave the pan on the stove. So when somebody else orders pumpkin soup, you just heat it up so it's not cold.
Okay.
I learned that when you put propane inside of a deep fryer, it causes explosions.
I need to learn how to set stuff on fire. Sticking the wood and cutting board in there didn't set it on fire.
I actually think I remember. I remember this one too. I remember seeing a video on it. I think they used a blowtorch. They like piled everything together and then just used a blowtorch to torch everything.
Wow.
That's what you should do, and set the propane tank in the middle of it so it explodes everywhere.
I have to do that now.
So somebody's like, oh, okay. I would like the fish, and on the side, I would like some. They're like, oh no,
It's Charborough. That's all. It's little Charborough. That's all.
don't worry about the kitchen. Your food will be out just real shortly.
Oh, and then you have to be careful because you walk around with the plates or the glass bottles of seasonings and you hit a corner and it breaks and all the food hits the floor and you have to get another plate and put all the food back on there. Oh my gosh, it was so nerve-wracking.
I either gotta go back to that vibe or I'm gonna definitely catch the next time you stream that because that looks like a lot of fun to watch.
It was a lot of fun to play.
um, yeah. So, um, the next category we have is strategy games. What in the world did I pick? Oh.
You can't be questioning that now. You just gotta roll with it. Roll with it. Roll with it.
Because when I thought of strategy, I was like, oh yeah, Command and Conquer, because I love that first person. Not first person, real time strategy game.
Mhm.
So that's my favorite real time strategy game. I played it from like high school till a couple years ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't play that last year. So I came up with something that I had to think really hard about to win. And my strategy game is a game called Bombsy.
Bombsy?
Yes. So think of duck game, but
Mhm.
make it like different shapes and kind of futuristic. And all the weapons aren't just like guns and like simple things. They're like weird shapes. Like this is like three fast, really fast dashes. If you shoot it, it goes, and you have to figure out how to use that to not kill yourself, but it also get everybody else who's also using their weird, futuristic kind of weapons. So imagine like I wouldn't say harder, but a different version of Duck Game.
Okay.
Different art style duck game. I
Yeah.
would say it is harder.
Yeah. So.
So you played this one, Kiki?
Yes, I played it with Taco.
Yeah,
and
we
I won.
I think it's like a $3 game, and Kiki won that a lot. But it was fun because it wasn't an overwhelming defeat because it is harder. So everybody had like a learning curve to try to figure out how to use the weapons.
Mhm.
So I felt like I was a bit more on the even playing field, but that didn't last for long.
The grappling hook killed me. Grapple right off the map.
So Spider-Man, it is not. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's also like certain parts. There's like fans that just blow air in one direction, and sometimes it just blows air down. So if you get too close to it, it just shoots you into the ground and you die. So you have to go over the fan instead of through the airstream. Another thing about the I think it's the grappling hook. You can accidentally hook on the edge of the platform and then swing under the platform. And then once you're down there, you're basically dead. But you can try to get momentum to like swing yourself back up, but it never works. And I remember, I think all three of us did that at one point.
Oh yeah, because you can also destroy the platforms with
Yeah.
certain weapons.
So if you're like, oh, what does this do? And blow a hole below your feet, you'll just fall to the ground. Yeah. So it was a very, very interesting game. So I really like that one. I would say it's strategy because you have to figure out the games and then figure out the weapons, and then as you're figuring them out, then try to use them to win.
Okay.
Psycho, what is yours?
My strategy game was XCOM 2.
Yes. Did you stream that one? I don't remember seeing.
I have not streamed that one.
Okay, cool.
I have actually only ever played a little bit of it, but I have played at least the first one to death. And this one is just more of the same, which is just more awesomeness to me. And the storyline is you had, well, for like the first one, the storyline was like you had an alien invasion and you're part of the strike force that is supposed to take out these alien invaders. You're supposed to be the defense that the world doesn't know about, that it needs, kind of thing. So basically you're the Men in Black kind of thing. But it's, to me, was very cool because you had your team of, I think you usually go out with 4. I think you could upgrade that to either 5 or 6, and it's more or less you have these squares that you can it's kind of like chess in its own way, because you're maneuvering your characters in specific ways and patterns, and you just have to be able to take out on each map. Sometimes you have an objective, sometimes you have to take out the enemy, sometimes the enemy is really tough. You have to take into account whether they have cover, how much cover they have. You get a good angle on them. Sometimes you had snipers, sometimes you had demolition guys. I mean, it's just a lot of things that were involved in that. So to me, each time you play, each map you go into, it's a new experience, which I thoroughly enjoyed. But I mean, the second one basically takes it to where if the aliens had won and now you're part of the resistance, trying to fight back against them, which I thought was really cool. Again, didn't get too much into it, but so many things you could do. You started to be able to augment your own troops. Sometimes you can give them alien powers because you did research on aliens. Sometimes you can give them cybernetics. Again, I could spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours in that game and still not even scratch the surface. It's just, there was so much to do. And for me, especially when it comes to strategy games, you got to have value. You got to have a good, like, this what I spend. I mean, in that case, I can spend $40-$50 on a game, but I still feel like I get my money's worth because I spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours playing it, and I still go back to it even after I've played it, just because I'm like, well, what if I did this? Well, what if I did this instead? Was this better? Could this have been done? Because it's one of those games like I had so many saves on it, but I still kept coming back to it because I was like, well, what if I did this? Well, what if I did that? What if this happened? You know what I mean? So, all in all, great game series. Those who are a fan of those like turn-based type strategies, highly recommend it, because that's what it was geared towards. But yeah, I mean, all in all, just great fun.
Yeah. Do you think you would stream that game? I know a lot of people, some other people, when they stream it, they name some of their troops after the people in chat or subs or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I mean, I could. It's just, it wasn't, I don't know. I felt like it wasn't going to be as fun for people, I guess. I mean, it's fun for me to be able to do that. And I guess if those who are fans of the series are looking at it, it might be fun for you just because you look at it and you're like, oh, that's how they did that, or oh, that's the strategy they used in order to do that. So I guess I could potentially foresee that. It never really occurred to me that would be the case.
Okay. Yeah, same thing for me for like Command and Conquer. Like, I don't think it would be fun for. I don't think I could entertain or put on a show with Command and Conquer. With Command and Conquer, I'm like, all right, just make sure my things that get the money don't blow up, and then just slowly amass this giant army of helicopters, and then slowly upgrade them to lasers, and then okay, cool, I got enough money, got about 50 helicopters, all right, and it's like boom, boom, and game over. And I'm like, yay, got my little strategy fix it. So.
Well, and I mean, that's the same reason why, like, a lot of times, even though there are some interesting parts you could do in it, that's like for 7 days, why a lot of times I only will stream, like, say, like the Horde Nights. Because I'm like, that's the most interesting thing I think people are looking for is, you know, what the craziness that happens then. But even then, there are still some people who like to see the base building, who like to see the time and effort that's put into it to be able to go, oh, that's how you came about it. Oh, that's what you did in order to do that, you know? So, I mean, I feel like there is an audience for it. I just feel like it may not be as big an audience.
Okay. Spaz, what would be your strategy game of 2018?
I picked Happy Room.
Happy Room. I feel like I've heard that. I don't remember that.
So, Interactive Buddy, have you ever heard of that?
Mm-mm.
Well, you were given pretty much a rag doll and told to pretty much you could do whatever you want to him, but most people ended up hurting him, like throwing grenades at him and stuff like that to get money. Happy Room is essentially the same, but there's a lot more stuff you can do to that. And they have special fatalities if you do a certain amount of damage with a certain weapon.
Okay.
It's just a silly game.
Cool. So basically, you're doing like scientific research, simulating what would happen if I blew up his hand or something like that.
Yeah. You're like, wait, what if I? Well, and you started to like combo into things too, if I remember correctly, because you're like, if I hit him with a rocket from this angle and he bounces off that wall, goes into there, can I incinerate him coming down and then blow him up with a mine underneath, shoot him out? You're like, it almost was like a Rube Goldberg machine, almost, basically.
Oh, okay, that sounds cool.
My highest damaging thing I ever did was I literally had two rows of saw blades going down the middle, portal at the top, portal at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! I didn't hear portal at the beginning. I was like, wait, what? So it was just okay, that's crazy. That kind of reminds me of that one mode in Burnout where you would just kind of
see how much destruction you could do.
Yeah. If I launched the car this way.
See, and that's almost what this is like. It's just now you're in like a 2D world flat screen where you're just like in a laboratory, and you're like, all right, you're given this amount of money, you're giving these weapons. What can you do? And then after you're done, you're like, well, you caused this much destruction. We're going to give you this much money now. And then we're going to unlock this weapon for you. Now what can you do? And you just keep progressing as you go.
Okay.
To me,
you get things including stuff like piranhas.
Oh, yeah, they give you some crazy stuff.
Oh, do you get sharks with laser beams attached to their head?
Not last time.
Yeah, no, that's that. But to me, that game was definitely one of those that was like, if you're kind of stressed out and you just want to goof around and destroy things and blow stuff up and have things go all over the place, this is the game for you. There is never any right or wrong answer. It's just, what do you want to do?
Okay. That sounds interesting. Kiki, what is your simulation game of 2019?
Strategy.
Strategy, sorry.
So, I picked Uno.
Okay.
And yeah, you need to strategize who you're going to, want to team up with and who you're going to, mess up and not have the chance to get to team up with. You had to make all those am I going to do this? And what, like, you have to think about the consequences of each card. Are we still going to be friends at the end of this session?
Oh, like Monopoly.
Should
Yeah,
I
so
betray? Okay.
you just like you got all the you got the like you're like, okay, yeah, are we gonna still be friends? Or am I gonna backstab this person? Or you gotta think about the long run of the game on if I put this +2 on top of these other +2, is everybody else gonna have +2s to come right back around to me? Like it's a lot of like, do I keep pulling cards until I get a specific thing I'm looking for? It's a lot of thinking.
It's like, I'm gonna betray my friend, but should I betray him now or should I betray him later? I want to play this game with him next week, so should I be nice so he'll play with me again?
Should I be that one person that just holds onto a wild card to end on so I
that's
can
what I always do.
automatically win?
Well, but then you have those where like you switch your hands around and someone all of a sudden gets that last wild card that you were wanting to bank on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Best way, in my opinion, to end is on a wild draw 4.
I mean, that's the really sneaky way of doing it, but
How many? So we've streamed this before on Variety Power Hour, and I think we got up to like draw 14 or something like that.
yeah, it was pretty ridiculous when it got up there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
That sounds really bad.
So,
Let's do this
Yeah.
ish.
yeah.
Were definitely put to the test.
Yeah, we would definitely be bringing that game back. Just that reminds me of how much fun we had before. Yeah, the next category we have is.
I think this should encompass a lot, considering how many people put this as theirs.
Sports game of 2019.
So, how many had golf? I know I did.
Everybody but me. I didn't even think about golf, but I
Oh,
The only
so
thing
if
I
you
could-
thought about it, would you have picked that one?
I'm trying to think. Could I have put the game that I chose in any other one? And I'm like, no, I want to talk about Trackmania, so I'm putting it in car because racing is sports. But yeah, my sports game of 2019 is Trackmania. So, a little bit.
Game.
Yeah. So a little bit of a backstory. Back when I was in middle school, I met my first gaming friend. Somebody who was basically everybody who I know is way more into gaming than I am. But that was the first person that I met, and he had Cruising USA, and there was a mode or whatever the cruising game that was, and that's one game that I want to get. I want to get that version of the game so I could just reminisce from like 20 years ago of me playing that game. And yeah, there's this one mode where you can build your own sandbox and put like different ramps and loops and all kinds of stuff in the game. And I think it was probably one of the first ones that did that because it was on console. I think it was on Nintendo 64 or something like that. And it was very limited what you could do, but what you could do, you made a lot of fun out of it. And that started my whole like craving for a racing game that had crazy stuff in it. Also, I'm a Hot Wheels collector, and I made up my own crazy tracks in real life. So that's always been something that's been like a theme as far as racing games goes for me. Recently, there hasn't been any games that I knew of that did anything crazy other than Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing, which is a game that I grew up with. And then last year I found out about Trackmania, and I saw the trailer, and I was like, "Oh my god, everything I want in a racing game!" And I basically pulled everybody into it, and we played it a bunch of times. That is absolutely, hands down, my absolute favorite racing game, and I played it a bunch last year, and I'm gonna try to sneak it in a bunch this year. But yeah, that is my sports game of 2019. Psycho, what do you have for sports game?
Well, I'm pretty sure I have the best one of all because of how many people picked it. Golf with your friends. If you haven't been able to tell, we are not the sports fanatics over here. Though, if I were to say one sports game or one racing game I've always loved to play, but that's a long time ago, was Burnout, since you did mention it at one point.
Oh, yeah.
Burnout was always one of my favorites.
Pick another one.
But Golf with Friends. I mean, this is a game that's easy to pick up. Anyone can pick it up. Anyone can do it. I mean, do you need a certain understanding of potential physics in most part? A little bit. It helps. Don't get me wrong. You can think about how hard hitting something would potentially cause it to ricochet. You know, it's like pool essentially. You gotta think about how you're hitting your shot, how much you're doing it, so. But in the end, is it just about smacking balls around and whatnot? Yeah, pretty much. And some of these maps and some of these places you can play are pretty much on par with, it doesn't matter how you're gonna hit it because it's gonna go wherever it's gonna go. When you start including saw blades and ramps and stuff like that, explosions, it's like, it doesn't matter how you're going to hit it. It's just going to go wherever it's going to go. But it's a really enjoyable game, and I think the friendliness behind it and the ability to be able to interact and do however you want to do is one of the main drives behind it and makes it so where it's just fun. It's not really competitive, though it can be competitive in some respects, but for the most part, it's just fun.
Cool. Spaz! What is your sports game?
Golf with your friends. And I'm the person who's cruel about it, because I like turning on collision and making sure people don't get in the hole.
The troll.
I also like turning on random shapes.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
you're
random
a cube.
Yeah, an acorn.
That's just fun, Is it frustrating to the person who is? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's just fun.
It's so satisfying when you're that random shape, but you make it in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then not only did you have to work for it, you really had to work for it.
But to quote Deadpool, balls and holes.
Yep, that's what it's about.
Kiki, what is your sports game tonight?
So, to go right along with golf, mine's a little bit different. It is Golf It, which is different than golf with your friends. Think of golf with your friends as like putt-putt. Golf It is like golf, actual golf. You need that mouse pad that's about 3 feet long to play Golf It. Where golf with your friends, you got that easy, here goes your little meter. You want to hit it this hard? Well, all you have to do is stop it at the top of the meter. No, Golf It, you take that mouse and you launch it if you're trying to get it to go real far. And that's where the difficulty part comes in, because some of these maps, you'd be like really having to go real far, and you'd be like, need that 3-foot mouse pad to go and just build up that speed, because you're getting a workout with that arm, depending on how far you need to go.
That's why I just changed the DPI on my mouse.
So what you're saying is that in order to play this game, you're going to need one of those like wrist straps that they gave you for the Wii's.
Oh, for your mouse?
Basically.
For your mouse?
Yeah. if you can't change your DPI, yes, you're basically going to need one of those.
What happened to your monitor? I hit it with my mouse. It went through it. Wait, what? How did that happen?
I was golfing.
Wolf, man.
Like that's why I like Golf Fit a little bit more because it's more challenging, especially like with the and it also has like a bigger community map workshop area. And there is some really great maps in the workshop area for Golf Fit. Whereas at first I knew Golf with Your Friend didn't have a workshop area, so that's why I favored it over Golf It with Your Friends and never really tried it. But now I heard that there is a workshop area, I think, for Golf with Your Friends, so I'll have to try that one.
There is a workshop.
Yep.
And I will say that the UI on it is beautiful.
Yeah, they upgraded that.
Yeah, so I have to try that because, like, in between like the two games, I was like, this game has way more content than this game. It's the same thing, just a little bit different controls.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't do random ball shapes like you can in Golf with Your Friends.
No, but you can change. You can put on collision, which is like with the big thing, but you can also change the friction of the course. You can also change if it's a bouncy or non-bouncy.
Yep, you can do that in Golf with Friends.
Yep.
Friction, so like you can make it like it's made out of molasses.
Yeah, you
Or
can be
they
Or
You're
made
on
out of
ice.
ice.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I mean, there's also like just the different maps. Some of the maps have zero gravity. Some of the map has like the force fields where it either pulls you in or push you out. Then you have the speed boost. Like they've added a whole bunch of new different features that you can build into the maps.
Zero gravity sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, especially
can't
when the course is flipping around and upside down and stuff. Spectating is really bad because you'll be like upside down, but when you're watching it right side up, so you're wondering how the ball isn't just falling straight back down.
Okay. So, maybe we'll add Golf with Your Friends. What is it? Studio content? What is it? Workshop content for another variety time.
You have to add Golf Fit. We have to try both of them.
Did we play Golf It last year? I think
No, we didn't.
We didn't?
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Yes.
We will add both. Yeah, okay. I will go ahead and add that to the list because I know you've been begging me to try it all last year.
Yes.
So the next category that we have is puzzle games. So my puzzle game of 2019 is Tabletop Simulator because I put board games and puzzle games in the same category, and we played Sorry and Trouble.
We attempted to play Sorry and Trouble.
We
There was
also attempted to play Clue.
There was an attempt that was made. It just didn't work.
We did play Cards Against, though.
Oh, he was doing something else.
I'm
Yeah,
just talking about
okay.
on your 24-hour.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we streamed this twice, right? One we played the Sorry and Trouble, and then on your variety, not variety, the 24-hour charity stream, right? You played
Clue, Sorry, and
Cards Against.
Cards Against.
Okay. Did y'all play the same version of Sorry, or? I know there was like multiple versions of some of the games.
We kind of tried, but the table kept getting flipped.
Okay.
Everybody was literally rolling 20s.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I know. Who did Ray Ray win one? I can't remember who won when we played.
I think Ray won. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, it was kind of cool. Kind of like a family game night, just a chill stream, trying to figure out the rules because I haven't played any of those before, and yeah, it was just a nice little chill stream when we played earlier last year. Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have for a puzzle game?
What did I have a puzzle game? That's a good question. Oh, Hades.
Okay.
I picked Hades as a puzzle game because it's you have to figure things out. There's definitely a rhyme or reason with it. So Hades, in case anyone didn't know, is a definite rogue-like game where you play as the son of Hades, and you're trying to leave the underworld. The gods up on Olympus are trying to help you in certain ways. They give you boons in order to empower you, and you can use certain abilities. You get to unlock certain weapons. You can upgrade certain weapons. But in order to leave the area, you have to beat the boss in each one. And before you get to the boss, you're constantly going through random sets of rooms. Some of these rooms will give you those boons I was talking about. Some of them will allow you to upgrade your weapons. Some of them will give you money. Other ones will give you gems, and you can use the gems in order to upgrade certain parts of dungeons. And to me, when it comes to puzzle, I definitely kind of key that into like strategy games, because there's got to be a certain amount of strategy you have to use in a puzzle in order to figure it out.
Okay.
Well, there's always the brute force method.
I mean, brute force does have its way, and you can potentially do that.
Does this work? No. Does this work? No. Does this work? Yes. Okay.
But it's also kind of geared to, you got to kind of like figure out what works best for you and how you can overcome certain trials. You know, learning patterns of your enemies and how they attack, and whatnot. So, but every time that you die in the game, you get sent back to the very beginning, and the beginning is I guess, the throne room of Hades, where he kind of weighs and measures the souls that come to him. So you then talk to your father. Cerberus is there, so you talk to Cerberus. There are some souls of heroes who are trying to help you and encourage you to, be able to escape and whatnot. And yeah, I mean, altogether, it's been very interesting to try to figure these things out. There's an overarching storyline involved with this, because apparently, I don't know how much you guys might know about your lore from Greek mythology, but you are the son of Persephone.
Oh, okay.
And she has left, and he's trying to pick up the pieces and figure out what happened, what caused her to leave, where she's at, if he can meet back up with her. Because originally he thought he was the son of Hades and Nyx, but that's not the case. So, and that information had been hidden from him. So, he has a lot of things going on. So, but all in all, to me, I've thoroughly enjoyed the game. It's very fast paced, and the different environments that you get along the way are very fun and entertaining. So,
okay. What type of game is it? Is it like
top down third person?
Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen someone stream it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I paid that much attention. So
It's definitely a fun game, and I think there is some merit to streaming this game too, because it's fun to watch and see what you can do, and it might be interesting to leave the options about which door to go through to your audience and see what they think. Like what would be your decision? How would you do this kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Okay. Cool. Spence! What is your puzzle game of 2019?
Little Inferno.
Little Inferno.
I burn things. That's pretty much the game in a nutshell.
Okay. What kind of game is it?
You just sit there and you burn things in a fireplace.
It's
You buy
I'm gonna
things,
say it's like,
you burn things.
You're
you
literally
make money.
looking at a box, a stone box, and down below there are options for you to pick things, and all those things. The only thing you're picking them is to be able to burn them.
You burn them, you make money. You buy something else, you burn it, you make more money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The
So
overarching
is there a
storyline
method to this?
Well, the overall storyline is that there's been the world is very cold. There's been an increase in like the decrease in temperature, I guess you could say.
Uh-huh.
And you're just trying to keep warm.
Ah.
Eventually more things happen involved with that. I won't go into it, but yeah, I mean it's just you I think the most fun thing you can do is like either like combos that you can do with certain items, and you get bonus points and get more money for them if you do them.
Okay. So is there like a warmth meter that you're trying to keep up, or you could just burn whatever you want whenever you want?
Basically,
You can burn anyone. Yeah.
Whenever you want.
Okay.
You get letters from people who are saying they're your friend. You're just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna burn it.
Yeah. They're like, hey, I sent you this picture, and you're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna burn it.
Kiki, what is your puzzle game of 2019?
So my puzzle game was this great and awesome story game that I played called Valiant Hearts: The Great War, and it's so good. I highly recommend you check it out. But it's like a game basically based on during the time of the war, and there's like this family and the son, the son of the dad who is part of this family has to go to war. And as he's part of this war, it gets worse. So then the dad also has to go to war. And then during this, they're trying to get back to each other. But so during it, you're playing as like the son at one time, and then sometimes you're playing as the dad as you're going on. And so there's like different puzzles that you have to do to get to progress throughout the story and everything. And so I picked it just because of honestly the story behind it. But like the puzzle games are really fun, and you get to have a cute dog, and you get to tell the dog to go places, and like he's a really good medic dog because you meet a medic along the way. So he's one of those medical dogs that finds people and stuff. So he's trained for like being able to crawl through the holes and everything. So it's really really good. And like I said, I'm also another, like you said, a music person. There's this cute little music mini game in there where you're dodging bombs being dropped by the plane.
Okay.
But hey, it's a really good music as you're dodging the bombs and the cars coming at you. And it's a really, really good game.
Cool.
I will say though, I did play that one too, and the ending is very sad.
I know. Let's talk about the ending. I hate the ending.
It's very sad. Very sad.
Okay. I think I stopped by for a pieces of it. But yeah.
I have it up in my. I think that was one of the first games I put on my YouTube channel.
Oh, so it's an older game that got
Mhm.
re-released, or how did you come across it, Kiki?
I watched somebody. Okay, so that same exact part with the music and the dropping of the bombs. I came across one of my streamers that I usually watch, and at that point, that's exactly where they were at. And I saw that. I was all like, oh, this looks like a really good game to stream. And that's what happened. I didn't even know what the ending was. Everybody said it was gonna be sad. I'm so like, this can't be possible. We're literally like 3/4 through the game and nothing extremely sad has happened. It can't. And then the ending, and then I was just like bawling after the stream. I was like, why?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. Let's see. The next category for games is streamed games. So it could be any actual game category, but what was the best game that you streamed? So the game that I chose was Duck Game. So basically, this category of game, I'm bringing up twice because it's fun. Duck Game was probably one of the games that I laughed the hardest, I yelled the most, I actually won a bunch of matches, and I think we played it maybe 2 or 3 times last year. And we had a bunch of different people join us. So as far as a game that the community was able to get to participate in, I would say Duck Game. It's the most fun, the most people joined in, and even though it's only a 4-player game, it was the wildest streams out of all of them. Psycho, what was your streamed game of 2019?
My stream game was one that Spaz brought up, which was Prop Hunt.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people know me from streaming 7 Days to Die and Borderlands and stuff like that, but I honestly had just an absolute blast playing Prop Hunt with Spaz, with Major, with Jordan. I really want to have more time to spend playing that game with more people, which it goes into another thing I want to do is more of like a community game night and have that go like a regular thing, because I feel like it's a lot of fun, and it's kind of what I brought my channel into being for, was to be able to bring more people in and to play games with more people, and that's really what I'm all about and really what I want to do. So games like Prop Hunt and stuff like that, I mean, it's so much fun. As Spaz can testify of, hello.
No, it wasn't hello.
Well,
was,
hi.
Hi.
Yeah. You mess with people and you fuck around with it and you just be like, hey, you never thought I was gonna be here, or you find somebody who points their gun at you and you're like, oh crap, and you run away real fast trying to get away from them because you're like, they found me.
Or you hold your position and be like, they're not looking at me, they're looking around me. They're just like, why is there a bottle there? I'm not going to shoot the bottle.
No reason. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Yeah, no, again, it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. I really want to get a larger game going to where we have so many people involved in it and whatnot, that I think it'll just be an absolute blast.
Yeah. One thing I would say is a lot of games come out with 4 players max, and I really wish it was like 8 or something. Because
I don't know how large we can go on that.
Oh, you could go huge on Prop Hunt.
Okay.
I think like the max is like 32 players.
Oh my god!
I know TTT was rather large too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could you imagine? You freaking imagine that 32 players on a Prop Hunt, even if it was 16 on 16. Jesus.
There'd be so many nukes going off in the
Boom, 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 boom.
It lags out and everything.
one nuke. Okay, I got 3 people, but I'm dead.
Yeah.
Okay. For Prop Hunt, I did see. I have seen Markiplier playing a bunch, and the only thing I worry about is motion sickness because first-person shooter games, I tend to not be able to watch that much. So it's been on the list. It just got pushed to 2020. But yeah, we should make it one of the Variety Power Hour nights, and then also mix it in with your community night. And we can just get this giant group of people all running and screaming and laughing and crashing computers.
Does Dramamine work for you?
What?
Dramamine.
Motion sickness.
I actually haven't tried it. It's something visual, so I'm not sure if it's like what was it? Like old school Spyro makes me dizzy, but Minecraft doesn't.
Yeah.
Watching somebody play Call of Duty will make me dizzy, or what is it? What's the game that Siege? Siege will make me dizzy, but then something like Fortnite won't that much.
I definitely suggest getting some Dramamine just as a trial run.
Okay.
And take some of it before you start playing any one of those games that typically gives you motion sickness.
Okay.
Just to give it as an experiment.
Cool. I'll crack open Spyro and like, hey Ray, you want to play Spyro? Let's play Spyro for like 2 hours.
Need more munch.
I'm still getting dizzy. More. But yeah, I will go ahead and try that because I want to be able to play a bunch of different games. I want to try Fortnite since everybody's streamed it. But yeah. So that was Prop Hunt from Psycho. So Spaz.
Well,
So I didn't stream it, but I was a part of it. We started with Don't Starve Together.
that's true.
That was a nutty day. I'm just like, I'm doing things, and I'm gonna die dead.
It's always so sudden.
Just one of those silly games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You mentioned the bees.
Yes, Major told me about you with the bees.
Oh, okay. Because I remember, were you the one that carried us when we played?
I just barely started.
Oh, okay. Because Psycho is somebody from your community, right? And they jumped in and basically helped us survive. Because I know I'm not going to have it. I could barely keep myself alive.
That's true.
Oh, rude.
Oh,
I said that out loud. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
but okay, yeah. So yeah, that was somebody was like, "Hey, type this in. It'll help you spot it stuff." I'm like, okay. Yeah, that is a very fun game. I think we're gonna do that again. There'll definitely be well, I don't know. We streamed The Forest. So I know I've streamed it with Chaotic and The Chosen One, but
I know we haven't.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the times that we did stream it, Psycho, you weren't there on those few times, right? And then I don't think I've streamed it with Kiki either.
Nope, because I just got the game to torture myself.
Yeah. All right. So
And the sad part is I've had it for a while.
Yeah, I think I had it after Chaotic and Juan played it for the first time. Then I got it, and then we all streamed it. So yeah, 2020 we will be playing Don't Starve again, and of because of fun.
Making ourselves silly.
Yeah. Kiki, what is your stream game of 2019?
My stream game was Hollow Knight. It became a addiction when I got into Hollow Knight after I gave in to my community after them telling me to play it. Because I had no clue what in the world Hollow Knight was. And they were just all like, it's just some bug platform game. You're just this little bug soulless thing collecting like these little bug coins going around. I was like, what's the fun of this? And I got into it, and yeah, and that's the end of that one because that took me forever to get through because it's basically like a
A
more
2D Dark Souls.
yes, exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, it was a more of a Dark Soul game that I actually like the art style for instead of the actual like Dark Soul game that I had never actually played. So it was like my first kind of step into like Dark Soul kind of game, but in a cuter kind of way.
Yes, I remember that because even Deep, when that game came out, he played it too. And then I know that he jumped into some of your streams as well. So yeah, I remember the saga of Hollow Knight on your channel. And I think I missed you actually beating the game, but I went back to the VOD because I know that was a big moment. And
Oh yeah, because that was like what 4 or 5 hour streams of just trying to beat the final boss.
yeah.
Did you get the secret ending?
Yes, I did. I did do the secret ending.
Okay.
That's why it took me so long.
It's just such a silly ending that nobody just. Why?
So
But I'm looking forward to the next series of the game that should hopefully come out sometime this year.
yep, I was just about to ask that. So cool. I look forward to popping in on those streams whenever I can. Oh yeah, heads up for seat number 2. Let's see. The next category we have. Where did they go? There it is. Survival games. Yes. My survival game of 2019 is Minecraft.
What?
I never saw that coming.
No, this is a huge blowout. What the hell?
Minecraft.
Yeah, so you brought up a stat earlier and I can't, oh, here we go. Cool, I have the app. Oh no, I don't need, okay. So I started playing Minecraft in September of 2015 and I've stopped a couple times. When I first got the game, it was because Ray went out of town and I had the house to myself and I was bored. And I was like, you know what? And it was before I started piling on all of these projects to myself. So I was like actually legitimately bored and didn't have anything to do. No videos needed to be streamed, no anime needed to be watched. And I was like, I haven't played a few different games in a long time. I was like, I at one point did some tech support for the online tickets at Blizzard. So I was like, should I get back into World of Warcraft? Because the day I got laid off, I didn't touch the game since because I didn't need it I needed to know the game for my job. So I was playing it all the time. And then I was like, this game's actually pretty fun. I wonder if I would play it when I'm not working here. No, the answer is no. And then they're like, "Oh, you don't need to come back in." I was like, oh, "Okay, cool," and I haven't logged in since. And I don't really think it's anything against the game. I just think like it was a very big necessity, and um, it's such a huge time requirement that I'm like,
It is.
I can't really see myself going back in unless I have a specific framework. Like, we are going to do this one thing and beat this one, and we're going to do all of these quests, and then we're going to stop. Kind of like with Trove. Like, we played Trove a lot, and I wanted to put Trove on here, but I realized that we didn't play it at all in 2019. So, going back into Trove is also another.
Yeah, I want to go back in there too.
Yeah, like it's a huge undertaking. So I kind of want to be like, let's beat this thing, or let's do this specific thing, and then we play it without anything held back, and then we're like, cool, that's where we cut off, and then we pull ourselves out. So when I was trying to make the decision, I was like, do I want to play more of World of Warcraft? I'm like, I don't really see an end to that, so I'm not. I was like, do I want to get into some Command and Conquer because I haven't played that in a couple of years, and that's fun. And I'm like, I could do like 30-minute rounds, building up an army of helicopters and blowing up stuff, and then turning the AI to turtle to where they build like 1 billion turrets and you can't crack the shell of their defenses. So I was like, I gotta install it. I don't know if it works on this. I think Windows 10 had just come out, so I don't know if it works on Windows 10. I'm gonna have to do a bunch of troubleshooting. And then I was like, I keep seeing advertisements for Minecraft. The only thing from Minecraft that I know about is I've seen Markiplier play drunk Minecraft. So
and that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
And I'm like, my coworker, he's been trying to get me to play it, but he already left the company, so I kind of feel weird playing it after he was like, I've been trying to get you to play it for like 2 years, and then all of a sudden you want to play it. But I was like, I got a couple hours before she's back, so let me go ahead and try it. And I get on the computer, and I was like, they want me to buy it and stuff like that. So then I go over, and it was like $30. And back then I was like, $30 is a lot of money. So I go on the Xbox 360 that we had that I barely used. We only used it to watch movies. And there was like a demo that I could play. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and try the demo. And I hated it. The controls sucked. I couldn't get out of the tutorial world until I did what they told me to do. I'm like, I just want to walk around and do something else.
Tree to get the wood. You get the wood to build the cabin.
Yeah, and then like, yeah, and then you gotta go over here, and then you push the right bumper, and then you click, 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 and then you do the thing, and then you walk over here and use the sticks, and then you click, 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 click to get to that one item. And I'm like, this is annoying. And I was like, no, I'm not having a good time. So I just turned that off, and I went back to the computer, and I'm like, is there some kind of way where I can get a demo on the Windows 10 version? And I started looking it up, and I didn't know that there was the version that Markiplier was playing was Java. I just thought it was just Minecraft. So I saw that it said Windows 10 beta, and it was $10. And I was like, oh, that's much cheaper than 30. So I got that, and I've been trying to pull up the app, but I can't log in. So I give up. But I think I have like 2, maybe 3,000 hours in Minecraft. And I would say maybe 500 to 600 of that is AFK farming. As far as like standing next to my iron golem farm and watching them all fall into lava, or hanging out by the Guardian farm and watching them all pop out of the little spawn points that they have in the game, and then trying to swim out of the water flow because then they'll fall into lava. And then me and the Chosen One, basically, 3 times a week, 2 hours at a time, building a couple thousand block tunnels, couple thousand block railways, couple thousand block underground passageways, building a giant ice castle, and all of these other gigantic, crazy builds, all on stream. I would say, out of all of the years, the 29th that we actually did the stream, 2019 was the lightest year because I cut the stream down to 1 day a week. But Minecraft is the one game that I have streamed the absolute most. It is the one game that I have the absolute most hours logged in, and that will not change. That is my survival game. Yeah, Rico, what is your survival game?
Subnautica. Actually, I took a long time off on that one. I finally got back to it after I had been told it had been completed fully. Put me in a zombie situation in a game, put me in this, that, and the other thing. I'm fine. I'm great. I'm beautiful. Don't worry about me. But put me under the ocean? I have problems.
Gonna have a bad time.
Subnautica has been one of those games where, like, the minute I start going underwater and it gives me that error or that message saying oxygen because it's being depleted or whatever, I freak the fuck out. I'm like, oh no, get up. It's too much, no, air now. Ooh, air. And it's just because, like, I have a fear of large bodies of water. Being underwater, that's just one of my fears. So, it's unfortunately, it is what it is. But at the same time, it's also a very much so an enjoyable game. I appreciate what they've done, and even though it is a video game, I also like the whole idea and prospect of there being just a world to explore that's very much unlike our own. And even if it were, it's on an alien planet, but even if it were our own planet and something like that were to occur or happen, I still think they could do just as many just cool and interesting things as they do, because we don't even know about half our own oceans and everything, or how deep some of them go, or what's below them and everything. So that's just scary. That's just really scary. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's survival done right. You have very little to work with, and you have to just kind of manage to get yourself to survive until you can hopefully get off planet and get yourself back to where you need to be. So, for me, it was a great game. I loved the crap out of it. I was almost a little sad when it ended, just because it was fun as well as terrifying for me. I can still remember the first time I ever came across a sea leviathan. That freaked me the fuck out. But it's all part of the experience, so I don't think I'd ever change it for anything.
Okay. And then, was that you streamed that one on YouTube, I think, right?
I have videos on YouTube for that.
Okay.
I don't think I ever streamed it, but I do have videos on YouTube for it.
Okay. I do remember checking out those. Have you played the expansion, the Frozen something?
I have not.
Okay.
I think originally when I first heard about it, it was not, like, fully developed yet.
Uh-huh.
So I was going to wait to see, like, where it might go to, but, kind of like the game itself, I almost want to just wait and not see anything about it until someone tells me, hey, it's done, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Okay, so just like how the original game was in early access a long time, the expansion is also in the same.
As last I heard, I haven't looked into it recently, but last I heard,
Okay, cool.
they're still working.
Yeah, I know one of the bigger streamers that I listened to. He played it for. He streamed the whole thing once it was done, just like you are, and then I think he tested out some of the early access content, and he's gonna wait until it was done as well. So, yeah, I if that Dramamine works out, then maybe I could do that for that, because I feel like with underwater and you can just swim around in any direction, I feel like I would get completely sick. But
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So yeah, that is one. That's one game that I've been kind of curious about to see a lot more, because everybody keeps talking about the Sea Leviathan, and I don't know if I've actually seen one in game. So
oh god, they're terrifying.
I know, and I'm like, I kind of want to.
You know those people who have like the bad thoughts about underwater here even. When you're like, oh my god, what could be underneath there, and your mind starts envisioning these just giant, hideous-looking sea creatures or whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much what the Sea Leviathan's like. That's pretty much where you're at right there.
Yeah. Didn't they have multiplayer or a mod or something like that?
Not that I'm aware of. Unless that was added in afterwards.
Okay. So I'm curious if that'd be kind of cool if I could like bring somebody with me to help.
Help.
But yeah, just bad. Oh, actually, I finally logged in, and 2,417 hours for Minecraft.
Those are rookie numbers. Wow. You got to pump those up.
They actually changed the time plane. It used to be calculated in days, and I guess because everybody else does hours, they changed it. Or on the app it says hours, and then on the desktop app it still says days. But
well, you still have over 100 days.
Yeah, so cool. I check it like once every 6 months or so, just to be like, I have a problem.
The only problem is that I'm not playing more Minecraft right now.
So yeah. So what is your survival game of 2019 spats?
One that was previously mentioned by Psycho, 7 Days to Die. It's fun. I like hitting people in the head with my hammer. If I hit an army guy, it makes a nice clang sound, and it reminds me of a song.
I will say that goes back to just what I was saying before, is that game, it allows you to approach it however you want.
Yeah.
If you want to be a brawler and swing a giant hammer around and smack the crap out of zombies in the head, you can do that.
If you want to punch him in the face, you can do that. You want to shoot stab somebody in the butt with a candy cane, you can do that.
You can do that too. All things are available. So.
Kiki, what is your survival game of 2019?
So my survival game is something new that I just got into because of some friends, and it's The Forest. I used to watch Chaotic and Nerdy play it all the time, but I am a big chicken and I really don't like scary games because, as you can see, that level of game is scary for me. That is my scare level. As you can see, it's not very high. Something easily can scare me. So that is my survival game because I've had fun having, just like 5 or 6 bodyguards because I'm not going anywhere or doing anything by myself. And I freaked out when one of the people ran up to me and knocked me silly and I died. I freaked out so badly. And then I had to run all the way back by myself from the same point.
Oh, yeah.
It was so scary. Oh my gosh. And then I had them following me and it didn't help. But yeah, that's my game. I know they want me to play more. So I'm going to have to try to play more.
Okay. I'm gonna try to catch those streams. That sounds like fun.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Yeah. So the last category is stream goals. I know everybody here doesn't stream, but I would say for either this the stream that you do have or the stream that you participate in, or also games, like if you have a huge backlog, if you want to like just get through it or something like that. And this will be the closing topic. I would say, what are your game goals for the year, and what are either your kind of shout out things, like what is your social media links, channels, where's all your content, where can people find you? So I will go last because I'm hosting the stream, and I will end with that. But yeah, I will go ahead and let Psycho go first.
My goals, I think I've already kind of made a mention of it before, is I want to get more into community gaming night going regularly. I want to have where I invite more and more people in, get more communities involved, and just overall just have a fun time. Being able to playing prop hunt like I did, I think really kind of sparked that back into me, and where I was like, it's kind of where I started this from and where I want to continue it, just being able to play games and have fun with more people. So that's kind of just my goal. I just really want to get something like that taken care of, get done, and then just have fun. My social media, you can find me on Twitter. I'm usually hanging around there a lot. Psycho Gamer, SYKOGAM6R. Feel free to follow, hit me up. I post random things as much as I can, as much as my brain will allow me to as I go. But and then you also will find me on Twitch. I do stream. I try to stream regularly, but sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I do have a YouTube channel I haven't done anything with for quite some time, but feel free to watch any of those videos if you should want to. If I get interest back into it, I may go back into it. I don't know. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then I also have a Discord, but you can feel free to message me on Twitter or Twitch if you would like to join it, and it's free for anyone to join. We have a nice group of people on there, always willing to chit-chat, talk with everyone. So, yeah, that's me.
For your community night, what days does that happen?
I'm tentatively holding it as Saturday.
Okay.
That may change depending, but right now that's kind of where my best kind of schedule works out. And if I can do Saturdays, that just means, if people make it once, that's great. If they can do multiple times, that's great too. But, just kind of leaving it up for grabs. I did try to do a poll on my Discord for anyone who was interested to see what maybe games people wanted to play. If I get more people involved, I might throw more games in there and just kind of keep rotating them out as they come. So I'm trying to be as interactive as I can with it.
Spaz. What are your game goals or stream goals or social media goals for the year?
So my game goals, the biggest one is I'm looking for more new good RPGs with truly engaging stories to get lost in. Examples that I have is The Witcher, Fable, and Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. Those are all games I got lost in the story for an RPG. One of stream goals is I'm planning on streaming here relatively soon. I just need to figure out how the programming works so I can get it all hunky dory.
Okay.
Eventually, I plan on setting up a Discord channel, and on it, I'm going to have a few different sections. One of my big ones I want to get set up is a section for D&D, because I was thinking about having a D&D stream at least once a month.
Okay.
And having a section for people who are who are watching, to be able to throw their input on what they'd like to have happen.
Okay. So where can people find you right now?
Currently, you can find me with hanging out with Psycho.
Yep. And then also, we have an anime podcast that you also
Yes.
join us as a special guest. But yeah, cool. Kiki, what's your game stream and social media goals?
So my goal is to try to stream a horror game that's actually classified as a horror game. As you can tell, the forest is going to start to trying to get into horror games, and I'm really failing at trying to not be scared. It'll be a pretty sure a long journey before I get to being able to actually play a horror game. I might play like Little Nightmares next, which is supposed to be classified as scary, but it's like a cute scary, so I don't know if that even counts still. So yeah, so that's my big goal, and it's a really, really, really big goal that's gonna take me some time to overcome that fear. But other than that, you can find me at Kiki Rocks on Twitch, on Twitter. I have a very, very active Discord lately about a whole bunch of random stuff. So if you ever want to go there, you can find that on my Twitch page. I have an icon below that you can just simply click on and it'll take you straight there, or you can just simply put in the Discord command. And I'm trying to be more active on Twitter. I don't know. Twitter, for some reason, just is not. I don't know. This is a hard social media for me to be active on, apparently, lately. But I do have a Twitter. Occasionally post pictures of random things or comments, retweet. Hey, the usual. But yep, that is all where you can find me.
My goals are a mess.
Taco goal is to get everything in his life situated so it's not a mess.
Oh my God, yes. So, I will end with the stream and game goals. Where can you contact me? So on Twitter, there is the podcast account, which is TacoYaki Anime, for my random and sometimes gaming stuff. It's Big D TacoYaki. On YouTube, we have TacoYaki Anime, the stream where the nicely edited and polished chapters of the podcast go. TacoYaki Gaming is where the highlights of the games will go. We have TacoYaki Tendo, which is where the highlights of all the Nintendo stuff goes, because back in the day, Nintendo only let you put videos on their stuff if you were part of their creators program. So that channel's all Nintendo themed. Then there is TacoYaki Live Streams, which is the most current channel, and that's basically where all the VODs of the Twitch streams will be. Whether they're gaming related, whether they're anime related, all of the VODs will be there. Then we also have a Discord. To get access to the Discord, it's a point system because I got so much stuff going on and I want to be able to keep track of everything. And only the people who are very dedicated and like spend way too much time and support the channel and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, all right, here you go. Now I can let you in. So I can keep track of that because I have so much stuff going on. Then as far as stream goes and gaming goes and content goes. So basically all the streams, all the YouTube channels and all the content, I plan on getting up to date. I plan on getting all the chapters for the anime channel back on the channel. I plan on getting all the highlight videos for all the different games and stuff like that, all on the gaming channel. The live streams, the goal that I can probably accomplish this year is to get all of the streams for the last 2 years. I can't remember. I started I started the Twitch channel because Psycho was streaming. I used to watch him, and then I disappeared for a while, and then I came back not last summer, but 2 summers ago, and I got really serious about Twitch and started learning everything. So from that point on, all of those streams will be on the live stream channel. They will be raw, unedited, just straight up. Hold on a minute, me walking to go grab something and walking back on camera. All of the stream crashed. It is broken up into like 4 videos, like just straight up raw. Everything that you miss on Twitch, if you don't see it within 60 days, it will be on the live stream channel if I make sure I send it over there in 60 days. And as far as game goals, this year, I can stick to what I've been doing all last year. It will definitely be Friday streams. Definitely the Variety Power Hour will be back. Will come back. I would like to double the frequency of it, but I don't know if I'll be able to get to it. So it will definitely be 1 variety stream a month. And monthly catch up will always be there, the last Sunday of the month. Talking about all the season of anime. And the thing that I plan on expanding to is I want to start creating content about the store that I've been building over the last year. It is for people who like collectibles. It is for people who like merch, because I'm going to try to start creating some stuff for that. One part is already built, and I'm polishing that up and trying to finish that off, and then I'll be moving on to, if somebody wants a hat with me smashing a chest from Don't Starve, because very few people know exactly what that
is. You have Major to thank for that I know what that is.
So
I should probably have you with a hammer saying, "What does this do?"
Yeah. So very very specific moments I want to make merch for, because those are legendary moments. And yeah. So my goals are to figure out a way to where I can work on all of this stuff full time. And within a month, I think I'll be able to make some announcements. But we will leave it there. This has been the very first TacoYaki Gaming podcast. I think this is a pretty cool show to do. We could definitely do like a year-end gaming every year. I don't know right now what other topics we could cover and discuss, but we can talk all about that or get suggestions later. But yeah, this was very fun. I'd like to thank everybody who's watched today. Thank everybody for participating. As of now, we will be back in a year with episode 2, unless we come up with something really cool to talk about. But yeah, that's it for the pilot episode. Today with me was Psycho Gamer, is Kiki Rocks, Spastic One, and this is me, my new 2020 branding, DK, formerly known as Big D. But yeah, I thank y'all for watching, and we will all see y'all next time.